Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope your day went fine. So back again as usual to let you know what's happening with our players and the team. And of course Coach Chelle has a pending meeting with the NFF where we expect him to be uh asked, a lot of important questions like what he has been doing so far towards preparing his team for the games that we have in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers rounds from March. Of course, it's not very far away. It might seem like it is, but it's not because it's just about a month and a few days. The first game is coming up against Rwanda on the 17th of March, and then a week later we have against Zimbabwe. Rwandan game is going to be away, which means we are traveling to Rwanda to play the game, and then come back later at the Gospel Republic Stadium to welcome Zimbabwe. And these two games are games that we have to win. There's no excuse about that one. Even draw is not acceptable if we are serious about qualifying. So the NFF want to know what has now been done from the coach and his team. Of course, other coaches have started doing their works, and for example, we've seen some serious progress from the Ghana head coach Ado. In terms of his traveling around Europe right now, he's actually touring Europe, meeting with top players of the Ghana national team. He's met with Partey of Arsenal, met with Ayew of Leicester, and a couple of other important figures. Also, what's his name? Kudus. Also met with Kudus and other players as well. So this is part of the plans to actually familiarize and you know create some bond between these players, and then when they come back to their team, to their camp, everything's going to continue and continue from there, and then they'll have some really good sync, which obviously would bring about results. So this is the same thing that we expect from Coach Chelle. Of course, he is also, just like Ado, set to visit the guys, different top Super Eagles players, the so-called big boys, as it's said, in their different leagues, and then have some conversations with them, things like that. So that is probably going to happen maybe second week or third week of February. But right now, of course, there have been some pressures from NFF for Coach Chelle in terms of selection of squad. Of course, you do know that it's now drawing closer to the time when we will, be hearing provisional lists, being submitted by the coach, and some names being chopped off, some names being added, and things like that. So the last time I talked about him, he was giving that directive to actually look for or include three home-based players, of which he had already started looking at two home-based players that impressed him in the Super Eagles B camp. But right now, he's set to properly arrange a squad and then submit the provisional list on time. That's what's going to happen in the coming weeks. And from an insider source close to Eric Shaw, the report is that he is very likely not going to make too many changes from the regular teams, the regular Super Eagles boys that they've always been called up. So we could just see one or two tweaks in the list, but generally it's expected to be nearly the same with the guys that we already know, but there might be some inclusions of some of these guys that have been informed in the last couple of weeks. So that is what's going to happen right now regarding Coach Eric Shaw and his plan towards the games that we have in March. And then just a little bit of updates from one of our rivals in the World Cup qualifiers rounds. That's Rwanda, and these guys are in fact the guys that we are going to play next. They are the guys who are going to play on the 17th of March, and these guys are still without coach. They are still without their coach after Spittler, a German tactician who has been very brilliant with them, left the country, left the national team late last year. He actually left in November. His contract actually ended in November, but he waited until December to leave. He actually waited to see if his contract's going to be renewed, but the Rwandan FA decided against that, so they let him go. Even though the players were, uh, some of the players, senior players, were pleading that Spittler is retained. So as it stands now, the Rwanda national team has no coach, and it's just a matter of a month and few days before they meet the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I don't know if I'm going to say that is something to be happy about, from a Nigerian perspective, because of course you have to have a coach already right now, and you should have started planning if you have a big game like that. But definitely this is all the more of a problem to the team, to the Amavubis, sorry, of Rwanda. But again, they are a very strong team. Even if they come without a coach, we know that it's still going to be a difficult game, because at least we saw that the last time we played them, they won us, I think 3-2, yeah, in the African Cup of Nations qualifier. But actually, that game was a game that we just kind of played anyhow because we had already qualified. But that's what's happening right now with the Rwandan team. They'll definitely look for a coach, before they meet the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So I'm sure they will not want to take that kind of risk. But moving on beyond that one, guys, there is a very young, talented Nigerian eligible player who has now called out to Coach Chelle and the NFF, saying that he is ready to represent the green and white shirt of Nigeria. Uh, this man, you probably had seen him before on TV in the EPL, playing for Crystal Palace. He made his debut, his senior debut, last year, October. His name is Abinon Asha. Abinon Asha. And this man, a few hours ago, came out and talked about his connection to Nigeria. That his dad is actually from Nigeria and his mother's from Congo, and that he is, even though not decided on which country to play, because he's still eligible to play for England aside from Togo and Nigeria. But he said that he is definitely an admirer of the Super Eagles, and when the time comes, he won't mind playing for the shirt. That is what he said. In his own words, he said South London is a very diverse place. My mom's from Congo, my dad's from Nigeria. Whenever someone asks me where I'm from, I'll tell them where I'm from. Probably, I can never forget where I am from. It shaped who I am today. So this is just a small snippet of what the man said, but great prospect from this young talented winger. Of course, he's still growing through the ranks. Right now, is actually even on loan from Crystal Palace to Gillingham, a Division 2 club side from Crystal Palace. So it's going to be interesting to see how he develops, and then see what the future holds for him in terms of playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But those are the updates, guys. React to any of the stories that you want to react to. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to Ninja Foot TV. If you're joining for the first time, stay tuned for more news.